Let's talk about the tools. We got your toolbox, right? These are your face tools. So this is how we're going to put our foundation on. Using a brush to put on foundation has so many advantages. It's going to help make it smoother. It's going to keep bacteria off your face, the bacteria on your fingers from doing that. That's what a brush does. And it's going to give you, I think, a little more control. It's going to help keep the face less oily. So there are 3 brushes you can use. I am pairing these all with our liquid foundation. So my favorite is the, what's this called? A powder concealer brush, because you can get both the under eye and the face. It's a floofy brush. Our liquid foundation dries as a powder, so it's not going to ruin the brush. Or this brush was designed specifically for our liquid foundation. A little stiffer bristles, still soft though, and has a well where you can put your product right in. And then you could always use the powder puff brush as well if you like that big foofy brush. So I'm going to just use these 2 to show you the difference. Now I know I'm almost out of foundation. I've got a new one on standby, but I don't like to waste anything. So you can just imagine that the dropper was dropping product the way it should be. So it's just almost out. So what I do with this is I just kind of dot my face up. We'll just do this side with this one. And then real light. The one thing you want to make sure of is that you're not pressing really hard. You know, you're not pressing like a pencil. And I think we're so used to doing that we tend to translate that to makeup. Like I had a hard time. It took me a while to notice that I was doing that. If you need help with that, just hold your brush at the end, because then you can't put that pressure on. When you're holding it up here, then obviously you can press harder. And the reason for that is we want to blend it in. We don't want to just push the product around the face, and that's what happens when you're holding your brush too tight. I also started with primer, so that foundation is gripping to the skin very, very nicely. That's why we wear primer. Whole lots of other reasons for primer, but we'll cover that another time. See the difference this foundation makes? Like, it's insane, right? Like, it's insane. Every time I look at it, I'm like, wow. Before, after. And it took 2 seconds on a brush with like 2 drops that barely came out. Now let me show you the other side. Seriously, I feel like I could go back and forth all day. This was such a game changer for me because I've never had nice skin. Like, I just haven't. It's getting better, but it's just, I've never had great skin. So when I can see this and I go, oh, you know, like, this is the skin, like, this was my, like, goal skin all of my life, and then, like, this is what I was born with. Oh, I should take a picture, right? What a difference. Anyway, so that was with the powder concealer brush, and I didn't show you, but this is also nice for under the eyes to really get up in there. That's why I like this dual-sided brush. And then we've got the liquid foundation brush. Also, a great brush. And same thing. We just take it, dab a little, and then just lightly buff that in. And this one's nice. It's got some angles that you can really get up under those eyes and make sure we're covering them. If you have dark circles, often the coverage of this foundation is enough to take care of that. If not, I've got tricks and tips for you if you need them. So there you have it. These are the face brushes. That's what they're used for. This I use a lot, just so you know. Where I use this one most often is powder. That's why it's called the Powder Puff Brush, because it's amazing with powder. So I'll dip it in the setting powder and then just dab that on. So that's where that comes in. Or if you're using a pressed powder, Powder Puff Brush goes right in there and then around the face. It's such a fun, foofy little brush. So if you have any questions on any of these, let me know. When it comes to recommendations, I don't think you need all of the brushes, but I do think a good face brush should be one of your first investments. So let me know if you have questions or you need to know like what you think, if you want to tell me what your foundation routine looks like, and I can tell you which brush I think will work the best. And also, please note that like this brush, I've had the entire 4 years I've been with Younique. So these brushes last. These ones I've had as long as they've been out. This one probably 3 years. This one maybe 2. It's not been out as long. So They last and they're amazing and they will make a huge difference. If you have any questions, let me know.